Hello, how's it going? It is the last day of Thanksgiving break, and I'm excited to be back at school. Just thought I'd let y'all know that. So today we're going to be doing notes on evaluating expressions. Evaluating expressions. This word evaluating is a word that we've been seeing all year. Remember, the word evaluating means solving. So I want to find what the answer is. Solving. And then we've also been seeing this word in our vocab lately, expressions. Remember, expressions are math problems without an equal sign. So that means in all of our problems, none of them will have an equal sign, none of them will have an inequality. We're just going through doing the order of operations. So in our blanks, we have to evaluate. What does evaluate mean again? Evaluate means solve. An expression, math without an equation. You must substitute a given value into the expression. You must then follow order of operations. Substitute means plug in. We're going to take that number and plug it in for that letter. Order of operations, do you guys remember what they are again? The G stands for grouping. Sometimes grouping will be parentheses. Sometimes grouping is going to be absolute value lines. You will see both of those. You will see parentheses and absolute value. E is for exponents. So that's when I have a number to a power, whatever this exponent is up there. It'll usually be 2 or 3 for you guys. M and D go together. You work left to right to multiply or divide. And then A and S go together for addition and subtraction. Again, you always, with these two, we're always going left to right. Left to right. So we're going to go through, do some examples together, and then there'll be some examples that you'll do by yourself. So this first example, we have 5b plus 8, and they tell us that b is equal to negative 5. So now I want to rewrite this problem, but substitute negative 5 in for b. So we have our 5, our b is equal to negative 5. What operation is it when they're side by side? Multiplication. So I have to take this 5 times a negative 5. And then we want to keep our plus 8. So order of operations, grouping. I have parentheses, but is there any math for me to do inside of the grouping? No. Are there any exponents? No. Is there multiplication or division? Yes. We have multiplication and division right there. So we need to take 5 times negative 5. Don't forget this pyramid or the tic-tac-toe to help you figure out, is your answer going to be positive or negative? A positive 5 times a negative 5 is going to give us negative 25. And then we still have to add 8. You can use Desmos to help you solve this. You can do pluses and minuses to help you solve this. Go ahead, pause the video, take a second, take negative 25 plus 8 for me. When you solve that, you should get your answer to be negative 17. Let's go to this next one. We have negative 9, parenthesis, 6m plus 3, close parenthesis, and they tell us that m is equal to -2. M is equal to -2. So we want to take this number and substitute it in there for that m. So we're going to do that and rewrite the problem. So we have -9, parenthesis. I like to make my grouping signs really big. 6m. What operation is it again when they're side by side? Multiplication. So I need to take that 6 times -2. And then we add 3, close our parentheses. Going through GEMDAS. Sorry, I want to make this blue purple so it's not confusing with the GEMDAS colors. That's better. So going through GEMDAS, do we have any grouping? Yes, we have this whole set of parentheses there first that we have to take care of. So inside of our grouping, we still have to follow GEMDAS. So what's going to come first, this multiplication or the adding? What's going to come first? The multiplication inside of that's going to come first. So we need to bring down our -9. Take that times, what's 6 times -2? -12. Oh, that should be green. Come on, Andrea. -12 plus 3. Close my parentheses. Are we done with our grouping? No, we still have stuff inside our parentheses. There's still math to do. Now we have to do the addition and the subtraction inside of that grouping. So again, I got to bring down my -9. We haven't done anything with that yet. Then we need to take -12 plus 3. If you're not sure about these negatives and positives that I keep talking about, I'm going to do an example. So the 12 is negative, so I'm going to draw 12 minus signs. The 3 is positive, so I would want to draw 3 plus signs. Whenever I have a positive and a negative, they're going to cancel each other out. A positive and a negative, they're going to cancel each other out. A positive and a negative, they're going to cancel each other out. So once I've crossed out as much as I can, whatever's left is my answer. And if I look here, I see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they're all negatives. So I would get -9 there. So at grouping, is there any more math to do inside my parentheses? Nope. So we move on to exponents. Do we have any exponents? Nope. So we move on to multiplication and division. We have multiplication. We've got -9 times -9. Again, if you want to think about those negatives at the end, that's fine. Just do 9 times 9 first. What's 9 times 9? 81. And then should my answer be positive or -81? Positive. Because a negative times a negative, I cover it up, my answer is positive. Where a negative times a negative is going to give me a positive answer. Alrighty, we are going to do one more example together, and then I'm going to have you solve the rest on your own so you can check and see how you've done. So first, or this last problem I should say we have is 7c minus 8r. So now we have 2 letters. We have c and we have r that we need to substitute for. It tells me that c is equal to 9 and r is equal to 2. So just like we've done before, we're going to substitute, we're going to plug in those numbers. So I have 7, what's c again? 9. Does that mean I write 79? No. Remember, they're side by side, so that means multiplication. So I have to take 7 times 9. It's not 79, it's 7 times 9. And then we're going to subtract 8 times r. R in this situation is equal to 2. I'm going to get a new color. R is equal to 2. Again, it's not 82. It's 8 times 2 because they're side by side. They are side by side. What's the first thing I need to do? Is there any grouping? Nope, there's no math inside the parentheses. Are there any exponents? Nope, no exponents. Is there multiplication and division? Yes. We have 2 sets of multiplication. Does it matter what order I do them in? Yes, it does. Like we talked about up here, we're always working left to right. Let's write that up here. L for left, R to right. We're always going from left to right. So first I have to do 7 times 9. A lot of y'all struggle with your 9, so I'm going to teach you a trick. What you can do is you can hold up your 2 hands. Finger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this is 10. So I'm taking 7 times 9, so I need to put down finger 7. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I put finger 7 down. I see on this side of the finger, I have 6. And on this side of my finger, I have 3. So that means that 7 times 9 is going to be 63. If you want more practice with that, let me know. I can show you later. Then we have our minus sign still, because we haven't gotten to subtraction yet. Then we need to do 8 times 2. What's 8 times 2? 16. So now we're working on 63 times 16. That is our addition and subtraction phase. So 63 minus 16. Do. We should get 47 for our answer. So far, I hope you're so good. I'm gonna have you guys, but I'm gonna have you finish the rest on your own. But first, I want you to pause the video, and I just want to make sure that you're substituting things in here right first. So go ahead, pause the video, plug in, substitute X and D for me to make sure that you're on the right track. Pause the video and try it on your own. Don't try to trick me. Make sure you're getting the practice that you need. All right, so we get that X is equal to 3 and D is equal to 5. So let's plug that in. You should get 3 times 4. X is equal to 3. So that's 4 times 3 plus 6 times D. D is equal to 5, so 6 times 5. And then close my parentheses. So go ahead. If you got that, awesome. If not, please raise your hand and give me or Mr. Snook a holler. We can help you out. Go ahead and solve the rest of these problems, and I will give you the answers as soon as you are done. Go ahead and pause the video. On this first one by yourself, you should get 126. 126. Before I give you the answer on this next one, I want to make sure again, just like before, you have everything plugged in correctly. So we should have 3 times 5 plus our X is 7. And then on the denominator, we also have X plus 2. So down here we have 7 plus 2. On this one, we have absolute value signs. That's what those long lines are. Those are not ones. Those are absolute values. So this should be the absolute value of f squared. It tells us here that f is 3. So it should be 3 squared minus 15 divided by 3. Those are like parentheses, but it's just absolute. So you still have to do the work on the inside first before you can divide. Down here, we have 3, absolute value. Y is 5 minus 2 dot 3. What does that dot mean? That dot means multiplication plus 42. And then this last one, we have 2 minus x squared. Here our x is 4. So you have to square that 4. All over negative 7. And then we have to add 8. So if any of those were not correct, please go back and fix those problems. Otherwise, you can keep watching the video for answers. Make sure that you got them done first. Do not cheat yourself. All right, so for this top left, you should get 4. 5 plus 7 is, first order of operations, we have 2 sets of groupings. We have the top parts of group and the bottom parts of group. On that top group, we have those parentheses. 5 plus 7 is 12. 7 plus 2 is 9. Multiply the top again because we still have that group. Divided by 9, you get 4. Up here, we have those absolute value signs, and then I have to divide that by 3. Order of operations, I have those absolute values. That is a group. That is a group, and inside that group, I have the exponent. So 3 squared. Remember, if I square a number, that means that is 3 times 3. The big number is what number you're multiplying. The small number is how many times you do it. So 3 squared is 3 times 3. So then I have 9 minus 15, which gives me a negative 6, but that's still inside that grouping, that absolute value sign. The absolute value of negative 6 becomes positive, so that's positive 6 divided by 3. You get 2. Down here, like I said, that dot means multiply. So in that grouping first, I have to do the multiplication. I can't subtract yet. 2 times 3 is 6. So I have 5 minus 6, which is going to give me negative 1. What's the absolute value of negative 1? Positive 1. So I have 3 times 1, which is 3, plus 42 to give me 45. Sorry, this one and this one are so ugly. I did not have my whiteout at home this weekend. This one looked pretty confusing. First, we got to plug it in. In that grouping up top, the first thing I have to do is that exponent. That exponent comes after the grouping. So 4 squared. Remember, if I square a number, that means I take that number times itself. So that's 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 2 minus 16 is going to be negative 14. Then I have to do that division of negative 14 divided by negative 7. That gives me positive 2. Positive 2 plus 8 gives me 10. If you have questions on any of those, please ask me or Mr. Snook. Again, you can use Desmos. Let's write that on the side. You can use Desmos. Please use it if you need to. Please use it if you need to. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. Again, this is a heavily tested topic, so please make sure you're ready for it when you've got your test on the 12th and the 13th.